Hey everyone, and welcome back to the series on Python. In the last session, we talked about Boolean data types. In this session, we are going to see how can we use Boolean data types in Python. We are going to study about conditional statements, and this is a practical way of using Boolean data type. Let's see. Now, what are conditional statements? So, conditional statements are the statements in which a condition is checked. A condition is checked, and if it is true, a group of statements is executed, and if it is not true, another group of statements is executed. So basically, conditional statements are statements in which there is a condition, right? So for now, let's assume the condition is 2 is equal. It's basically a Python expression 2 2. This is the condition. A condition is checked. Now this condition is checked, and if it is true, a group of statements is executed, and if it is not true, another group of statements is executed. So let's say this condition is true. So if this condition is true, let's say a group of statements called G1 is executed, and if this condition is false, another group of statements, namely G2, let's say, is going to be executed. So basically, things will work according to conditions in conditional statements, as the name suggests. Let's understand this in more depth. Now, let's say we have a condition. Just a second. And let's say if this condition is first of all true. Okay, so if the condition is true, what do we want to do? Well, let's say we want to let's actually write some Python code. Print condition is true. Okay, let's say we want to print this thing if the condition is true, but if the condition is false, just a second. Now if the condition is, let's say, false in this situation, so what do we want to do? Well, we want to print something again. Let's print condition is false. So if this condition that we are checking is true, this thing will happen. And it has not to be a single statement, it can be multiple statements as well. Let's say we had another print statement that's saying hello, another print statement saying world. There can be loads of statements, and hence making a group of statements. And similarly in this one, there can be many statements. Basically, let's say the condition is 2 is equal to 2. This is a relational operator. You might have understood that in previous session. If not, I will recommend watching the previous session about uh, Boolean data types and relational operators first. So 2 is equal to 2. If this condition is true, this thing will happen. Condition is true. And if this condition is false, this thing will happen. Okay, so I hope this visualization made conditional statements clear to you. Now, types of conditional statements. So conditional statements are of multiple types. The first one is simple if statement, second one is if else statement, and the third one is if else statement. We will understand each of those in the next session. For now, just understand that simple if statement is the simplest conditional statement we can get in Python. And if else statement is also very simple. Basically, in both of these, only one condition is checked. Okay, let me just write one condition. On both of these things, only one condition is checked. But for elif else, there can be various conditions or multiple conditions. So simple if statements and if else statements are very simple, in which only one condition is going to be checked. And for if else statement, there can be multiple statements that can be checked. Okay, so we will see these things in detail in the next session. I was just introducing these things to you for now. So this is it for this session on Python about conditional statements. I hope this was helpful to you and you got some idea about conditionals in Python. In the next session, we will talk about the three types of conditional statements. So I hope you are excited for it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.